and we're here doing our second Google Hangout thing, trying it out. A lot of people seem to like it, and by a lot of people, I mean we got zero feedback, and because of that, we actually had no negative feedback. So we're gonna do it again.
Nice.
Yeah. As always, we are going to be drinking, and we've picked out some new beers. Justin, you go first, as per our tradition for 2 podcasts now.
Sure. Picked up a beer I've never tried before. I actually don't even know where it's from or anything like that. But it looked good, and I wanted an IPA. Last week I had a stout. So this is actually a beer by Bridgeport, and it's called the Hopsar Imperial IPA Stout. Or Imperial IPA. It's not a stout. It's an IPA.
IPAs are disgusting.
So, IPAs are great. So, I'm going to get into this. Why don't you talk about yours?
I am drinking, once again, out of my Washington Capitals beer koozie, and I thought I'd keep it pretty fucking traditional and go with the official beer of the NHL, Molson Canadian. Fun fact about
All
Molson
right.
Canadians is that, like I said, they're the official beer of the NHL. If you buy them in a 12-pack, each one comes with a little hockey fact. This one is Savor a Hockey Tradition. Since 1972, the Molson Cup has been awarded to players on Canadian pro hockey teams who achieved the most 3-star selections throughout the season. For those of you who don't follow hockey, the 3-star selection is basically at the end of each game, the the media people that are there select the 3 stars of the game. Basically, third star is your third best player of the game, second star, and you really want to be 1 star. One thing I have been doing, since I do drink a lot of Molson, I really do like their caps. It's got the little maple leaf on there, so much so that I drop them in with all my other ones in my Washington Capitals beer mug.
That's very Canadian of you.
I know, right? If I could
Yeah.
find me, the perfect girl would be a British Canadian. She'd have the accent and she'd love hockey.
Wait a
Done.
second. How does that work? Is there a thing?
I don't know if it's a thing or not, but I would assume, like, you maybe are born in Britain or England specifically, and your parents like get a Canadian job, and so they come over to Canada, and then you learn to love hockey, and then you meet me, and then I put a ring on it.
But if they're British, then there's a chance. It's not a certainty, but a chance that they could have bad teeth.
Nothing modern medicine can fix, as per me, because my teeth are messed up.
Oh yeah?
I went to the dentist for the second time in a week today, and I might be going back in 2 days as well. I basically flossed out. I think I talked about this on the last podcast. I flossed out a filling. So
Uh,
they fixed one of them, or they fixed one of the 2 teeth that were attached with that filling because it was right between the 2 of them. And they fixed the other one on this side. They want to fix 2 more on this side, on my left side. And then after that, I need to go back to the right side and have a root canal done on one, maybe both of the teeth.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's
They said the reason they're holding off on the root canal for now is because they already know it's going to happen. If they do some dental work on my left side, they think that they can prevent a root canal. So brush your teeth twice a day, floss, but don't, my mouth right now is in a little bit of pain because I got it done in the afternoon versus the morning like I did last week. So
are they gonna put you on gas for any of that?
I don't know. I think the gas really only comes from when you have your wisdom teeth pulled, which I thankfully did not have to have done.
I
Everyone
wonder,
else.
like, I know you can game the system, like doctors and alike, dentist, whatever. Because they're not just gonna be like, oh, here's gas. You have to like, you know, there's like keywords you have to say. And it's like a mutual thing that I'm not aware of because like everybody else I know always gets gas. Every time they go to the doctor, they always get like pain medicine and stuff. And when I go, I always get like ibuprofen.
I mean,
That's,
I don't
I
need.
mean, not
Even
that
if
I'm
I
like,
was ever offered ibuprofen, I would never take it. And that's only because prescription. Oh, background pharmacy technician. Hey, how you doing? That's what I do for a living. Prescription ibuprofen comes in 400, 600, and 800 milligram strengths, and over-the-counter ibuprofen comes in 200 milligram. So you could easily just go to your local CVS,
Right.
Walgreens, whatever, get a prescription, or I'm sorry, buy over the counter and just take prescription strength. No more than 3,200 milligrams a day, no more than 800 milligrams at a time. Always take it with food.
Yeah,
And
that's exactly what I did.
it's good to take if you're drinking because Tylenol, which is acetaminophen, gets metabolized in the liver, much like alcohol. In fact, exactly like alcohol. Whereas ibuprofen, I believe Advil, whatever, I believe is processed or metabolized in the kidneys, so you don't have that interaction. So,
I always take Excedrin if I'm gonna drink a lot,
Excedrin has Tylenol in it.
and caffeine,
Yeah.
and aspirin,
Yep.
which is
So have fun with
it's
that
a
little
it's
cocktail.
a hangover remedy. So you
Yeah.
might want to try
Well,
it if you
just
ever find
time
one.
and Gatorade. That's me. Gatorade puts back the electrolytes.
But yeah, that's what I got the other day. Like when I hurt my back, like almost like 2 months ago now. They gave me, or she was like, "Oh, here's some Tylenol or some ibuprofen 800." I was like, "Fuck that!" Didn't even get it filled, but I also got some Tez and Ein
Tizanidine.
Tizanidine, that, and it sucks. So whatever.
Little update. Mike, we still don't know where he is. And Dave, the only update from him is basically he just got his first tattoo. So that's something I'm very into. I have 4 tattoos myself. I already know my next 2. So I actually texted him. I was like, so now that you've gotten your first tattoo, how many more have you drawn up and are planning to get? Because once you get one, can't stop. It's true.
Yeah, I don't know anybody with just one. Well, okay, maybe somebody with one, but they're probably definitely talking about getting another one at all times.
Oh, all the time. Man. Best time to get tattoos, by the way, unless you live in like a place that gets zero sunshine, is you want to get them in like the fall, winter, because when you get a new tattoo, you need to stay out of the sun for 2 to 3 weeks to let it fully heal. So that's normally when I
Sun,
get mine done.
the pool, the
Oh
ocean.
yeah, you can't go in like a pool; it can't be soaked.
Can't give
Yeah,
blood.
it's you can give blood.
Well,
You
you
can.
have to tell a white lie.
I live in Connecticut. Basically, there are if it's done cleanly. We're not talking like some basement tattoo artist. If you actually go to a tattoo parlor and you watch them open the needles and everything out of the protective packaging, American Red Cross in Connecticut will ask you that question. Have you had a tattoo in the last year? Yes. Was it done cleanly with fresh, never used materials before? Yes. We're good.
No,
So there you
I've
go.
never had to know that before. So,
I only got
anyways,
one video game tattoo. It's a Half-Life Lambda. It's
oh
right
yeah,
there
I
on the
forgot
lower
about that.
arm. And speaking about video games, currently the E3 Expo is going on. Something that used to be pretty awesome and is now just kind of in my book. You know,
Yeah,
I used to love E3 when G4 was like covering it and whatnot. I remember setting aside like the days to watch like the Nintendo conference, the Microsoft conference, the Sony conference. But now it's not like that anymore. I feel, you know. I actually was able to watch the Microsoft conference today, and there was a lot of things. I actually took a bunch of notes. So, one thing they announced that there were going to be 13 new titles exclusive to Xbox One. They announced a launch time frame, November 2013, and they announced a price. Did you hear the price, Justin?
I did
$4.99.
in the USA.
Yeah, 4.99. It was funny. They said 4.99 US, 4.99 euro, 4.29 GDP. So, or gross. No, that's Great British Pound. GBP.
Yes, there you go.
I say GDP is gross domestic.
Which is I would call that a modest price point.
Yeah. I remember when the PS3 was launched, it cost like $700.
Right. Well, that was for a very short period of time. But yeah,
The rumor, I haven't heard anything about the PS4 yet, but I've heard the rumor that it's probably going to be cheaper than the Xbox One.
that'd be a little turn of the tables, huh?
Yes, but I don't think that would deter anybody. They had a lot of them. I was very impressed with the Microsoft press conference. Um, there were 2 things that really stood out to me, aside from the Xbox One price point. One is that they're getting rid of Microsoft points. You're basically going to buy like points in U.S. denominations. So basically, games instead of being like 80 Microsoft points are now going to be like $1. You know?
Okay, which is what they should have done a long time ago.
Oh yeah. The second thing was that starting from July 1st until the launch of Xbox One, so we're talking July, August, September, October, November, 5 months. Xbox Live Gold members will be able to download 2 free games per month. 2 games that they announced with this were Assassin's Creed 3 and Halo, or Assassin's Creed 2 and Halo 3.
Yeah, see, I was gonna see that's like you can download 2 games per month, asterisk, out of this list, and it's not very many games slash good games.
But the fact that you'd be able to upload to cloud storage, you'd be able to upload to the cloud, and then you can then transfer that over to Xbox One possibly.
No, you'll never be able to transfer it. It's not backwards compatible. Nothing
Not
about
necessarily
Xbox.
backwards compatible because
You
you're not
well,
using a game disc. You're not using a game disc, so wouldn't you theoretically be able to use that on Xbox One still?
not for from what I've read. Xbox 360 stays with Xbox 360. Xbox One stays with Xbox One. There's no. I
Okay.
could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. There's absolutely no linking the two. Like even like I know there was a big discussion about Minecraft because they released
There's going to be an Xbox
the
One for
Xbox
mine.
One, right? And it's a totally It's the same game, but for the Xbox One. So everybody's gonna have to rebuy it because
It's going to be a bigger
you know
world.
bigger worlds probably there. I don't think there'll be anything exclusive that's not already on the PC.
No, absolutely not.
Um, so I don't know. I'm not hyped up about the one. I say the PS4, given the proper price point, which is even at the Xbox One or lower, will sell more units than the Xbox One will.
That's an interesting argument, actually. They did spend about 10 minutes on Xbox 360 games that they still plan to develop. Let's see, what were they? There was World of Tanks, which it's actually going to be free to download. It sounded like maybe. That's what the guy said, I thought. He said, go out, download it for free. I thought I might have misheard that. Basically, World of Tanks is like tank deathmatch. Like
Right.
instead of hand-to-hand combat with guns, you're hand-to-hand combat in tanks. Looked pretty badass. Um, where else was it? Was it Max Curse of the Brotherhood? Maybe was the other one. I think that was an Xbox 360 exclusive. It's a 2D platformer, and from what it looked like, you know the game Limbo that was so big on the arcade.
No, I never. I wasn't. I've never been much of an
Basically,
Xbox.
for those of you who have played Limbo, it kind of looks like just a colorful version of Limbo. Like it looks like the exact same style. It could be from the same company. I don't know. And then there was Dark Souls 2, which I believe is an RPG. One quick other thing about the Xbox 360, available today, the day that the press conference came out. New design. They basically
Right.
made it look more like an Xbox One. They said smaller, hmm,
There
smaller,
you go.
quieter. Done. I'm good.
But
And
it's still too much money. I mean,
yeah, I've got an Xbox, a white Xbox with I think a 60, maybe 120 gig hard drive. No, it has to be a 60. And I haven't filled it up. I'm not going to trade up.
it's
Doesn't need
just
for it.
well, see, they're probably pretty sure that. Well, I don't know. That's a stretch. Anyway, well, the Red Ring of Death still exists, and it's not covered under warranty anymore. So maybe they're trying to catch people like that. I don't know. The whole Xbox thing right now is really. I mean, I've never really been an Xbox gamer, so I'm not going to be like, oh, fuck them. But I will say that the Xbox 360 was an excellent console. It blew me away from the original Xbox. The expectations that were expected were over um,
You felt like it
whatever.
overachieved your expectations.
Yes, overachieved. Yes. So, but the Xbox One, nah, that's me. But of course, I'm a PC gamer, so it's not like I'm gonna get one anyways, even if it was like
Yeah,
$50.
yeah. Other things that were mentioned was a game called Rise, Son of Rome. It's the opening scene that they showed at the demo pretty much looked like the opening to Saving Private Ryan. Like you basically were on a boat, you jumped in the water, and they just attacked, and everybody around you just starts dying. Um, it's it looks like the gameplay. There's going to be a lot of quick time events where you have to press A or Y or whatever when you're in hand-to-hand combat. Third person over the shoulder, and yeah, you play as the leader of Roman army. Your name is Marios Titus. Uses the CryEngine, and it will be available at the launch day of Xbox One. The game that they brought back Killer Instinct. A lot of people wanted that. I'm not an arcade fighter gamer person, so I didn't really care about Killer Instinct. Sunset Overdrive. This is from the people that made Ratchet and Clank. It looks awesome. Custom guns that community-based weaponry too. Like if somebody creates a gun, they upload it to cloud and they like it, they'll put it in the game. So one gun that like shot vinyl records. It kind of looks like a mix between Jet Set Radio Future, like that style, that color scheme, with like Mirror's Edge. Which, by the way, they announced a new Mirror's Edge, which I'm happy about because that game was so much fun to play. Forza 5.
Mirror's Edge is not going to be exclusive, though, is it?
No, it's not. It'll be on the PS4,
okay.
but I mean, Mirror's Edge, I enjoyed it a lot. I should probably go rebuy it and replay it again. Forza 5. One thing that they're doing with Forza, the new Forza, is basically it's going to track the way you drive, create what's known as the Drivatar, and that will upload to the cloud so that when other people race, like single player, your Drivatar could be used based on how you drive, like aggressively around turns, when you make passes, stuff like that, virtually eliminating an AI. So that'd be cool.
Well, it kind of. Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's still an AI, but it's not an AI. It's like a player-made AI.
Yeah.
That's actually cool. I didn't hear about that.
There's another game. It was called Project Spark, which basically allows you to create a world and unfold these battles. In my notes, I put Project Spark, create, create, create. That's what I put. Dead Rising 3 was announced. There's going to be a new Halo in 2014. Yeah.
There you go.
New Halo in 2014. Zero details. What a tease. It's literally all it was. It was a trailer. That was it.
Well, they did say it was going to be 60 frames per second.
I don't get the point.
I don't either.
That doesn't mean anything to me, honestly.
Well, it kind of helps. I mean, I've heard that your eyes can only see like 30 frames per second, but not all PC games, most PC gamers run their games at least 60 frames per second.
Here's the only time that I think that would matter would be when it comes to filmmaking. I know The Hobbit was shot at 60 frames per second, which in turn makes it so that when they do a quick pan shot or something like that, it's not as blurry. Like it looks a little more crisp.
Well,
with a video game,
think about what you just said.
I don't give a shit.
Well, think about what you just said. When you turn real sharp, a lot more crisp.
It doesn't take that long. I don't feel like it takes that long to adjust when you're playing video games.
And it's probably more of a gimmick than anything. I mean, but it's still pretty cool.
The other note I had, it says Battlefield 4 live demo should not have been live because there was that awkward minute where they started to try and play it. There was no sound, so they took it down. They said, let's try it again. And then they're just standing on stage. Nothing's happening. Zero interaction. Guys not talking. They're just like, Did it start yet? No?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to sit here and stare back at the screen, hoping that it starts. It was so awkward. And there was one game that they closed with. It was called Titanfall, and it looks badass. The game looks incredible. Basically, you're fighting this war, but you have the mechs. It looks so awesome. It almost. Speaking of that, there's also the movie Pacific Rim coming out. I don't know if you've seen previews for it. That looks awesome. That movie. So basically, that's pretty much what I gathered from Microsoft E3. Yeah, I'm impressed.
So what's tomorrow?
Tomorrow, I guess, is Sony. I don't think Sony did it today.
Let's see. I think I have it right here.
But
wait, maybe Ubisoft.
Ubisoft is going on right now as we're doing this. Sony press conference is actually going on right now. It looks like.
Oh really?
Yeah. Sony press conference just started. But we'll talk about that next week. You can talk about that next week. You can watch it and then talk about it. That'll be your thing. Anyway, you said you had some stories you wanted to talk about today, so let's go right into them.
Yeah, I just had a couple things about sports. I was just like came up with my Google News feed today, and the headline didn't even make sense. It said something about Chad somebody slaps lawyer on butt or something. That was like
Yes,
my
Chad
so,
Johnson, originally
yeah,
formerly
so,
Chad Ochocinco.
right, exactly.
Right.
So like I
Yes.
watched it, and apparently he had like some kind of altercation with his wife, and anyways, he was in court for it. And it was pretty much like a done deal. The judge was like, "All right, you just have to do like these classes and
Yeah.
maybe like probation." And she was like, "Yeah, your lawyer's really good." And he was like, "Oh, I know something." And then he like slapped him on the butt like you would like in football
Good
or something.
game.
Dude, she fucking sent his ass to jail for 30 days. I was like,
Yes.
that was kind of harsh. I mean, he was being a
That-
smart ass, but
yeah.
I was like, damn.
I
And then
mean,
coming to find out it was Shadow Kosinko, and I was like, wow, I didn't know that was the thing with
yeah,
that.
a
So,
lot, a lot.
yeah,
Yeah, he'd been
whatever.
in trouble. There was a domestic dispute with
Can't
his
be
wife, like you
retarded.
said. And yeah, I did see that. It's just so it's. I don't get it. I don't. I mean, if it was a female lawyer that he had, I get it. I guess that would have been really inappropriate. It's a guy. He was an athlete.
He
Just
was
let it
happy, I mean,
go.
that he got off with just probation or whatever. You know, he was just relieved, kind of relaxed, and he
He's
just,
in jail for 30 days. He'll be okay.
yeah,
He'll
he'll
be
be
okay.
fine.
Who won't be okay is fucking OJ Simpson. OJ Simpson's going to die in jail. I think I bet
Oh,
somebody that. I've made a lot of bets recently, kind of by accident. Thanks, alcohol. Um, two bets I have. One of them I was dead serious about was Joe Flacco for the Baltimore Ravens in the offseason was signed 6 years, $120 million. And I live in New England, so all these people are Pats fans. They would give anything just to like kiss Tom Brady, guys and gals. Um, they love Tom Brady. They think that this deal was a joke for Flacco, that he's not that good. And I said, well, he's been in this league for 5 years. He's taken the Ravens to the playoff 5 years, and one of those times, three AFC Championship games, one Super Bowl. I mean, I felt like it was a justifiable thing, and I said the bet I made was $100 that says he takes the Ravens to the playoffs 3 out of 6 years. So that was one bet that I'm actually feel fairly confident. The subject came up again 2 weeks ago at a party with a bunch of Patriots fans who said that Joe Flacco is in Hall of Fame caliber. And then I proudly stood up from my seat and said, I'll bet you $1,000 that Joe Flacco gets into the Hall of Fame. So,
wow. Well, speaking of the Patriots, that was another thing that just came
oh,
up just a few minutes ago.
yeah.
Watch out, Tom Brady, huh?
No, I think Tom's safe. I think Tom Brady could roll his ankle. They still won't start Tim Tebow. Jesus.
Why are people signing him for the fans or?
He's got a big following. I remember. I never understood what his pull was to even begin with. Like, was he that good of a quarterback at Florida State? I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
watch college sports.
Yes.
He was that good. Now, Mike and I
Well,
always
Florida
joke.
Florida was good, not Florida
Okay.
State.
Oh,
Just
it's Florida the Gators. I don't
yeah,
remember which
Gators.
one is the Gators.
The team was good, and he won a couple times maybe and went to the playoffs like
Did he win a
all
Heisman?
4 seasons. So probably I would bet so. Yeah. I mean, I'm not even huge into sports really, but he sucked at NFL.
Yeah.
So I wonder how much they signed him for. Did that say anywhere?
I haven't seen anything yet. I just heard that that's the rumor.
I hope it wasn't for any length of time
Yeah.
because
Um,
the cap
it was
still
just so
applies.
funny. Mike and I joked about this. It's like, okay, so he played in Florida for 4 years. Florida. He played in Florida. Who
Oh,
drafted him? The Denver Broncos. Like,
right.
why would you take him from, your average 80-degree weather games to Denver with your average below 80 games? That being said, he did beat the Steelers.
Wasn't that the only one?
Yeah, they went to the playoffs. I think their starter got hurt, whoever it was at the time, and then they put in Tebow for the last half of the season. They ended up like breaking even, but they were in a crappy division, so that means they got a playoff spot. They played the Steelers in the first playoff game under the new overtime rules, where basically if you score a touchdown, you win. If you score a
Right.
field goal on your first possession, then the other team has to score a field goal or better, and then after that, it's whoever scores next. On the very first play, he had it was like a 10-yard fade or something like that, and they took it to the house. And half the Steelers didn't even know that they had lost the game. They thought they got a possession. Um,
Oh, that would
that
be a
was awesome
bummer.
to see because I hate the Steelers as a Baltimore Ravens fan. So after that, Tebow goes to New York, where he played like what 2 games? I don't
Yeah.
remember. But to be fair, the quarterback situation in New York is atrocious, and I really wish Mike was here to talk about that because he is a Jets fan.
Yeah. He would be able to fill us in a little bit.
Yeah, but now the word is that he's going to New England. I don't know why. His agent was trying to market him as a tight end. I don't know if you heard
Whatever
about that.
works. Just as long as you can get a few more dollars, right?
Yeah. So yeah, that's what's going on in the sports world. Oh, Stanley Cup playoffs are set. Chicago Blackhawks versus the Boston Bruins. The Stanley Cup. First time these two teams have ever met in the Stanley Cup playoffs or finals, and they are two of the original 6 teams. So
Oh wow.
should be very exciting to watch.
When
Go
is that?
Blackhawks. Go Blackhawks.
When is that?
What?
When is that? Like,
It starts Wednesday,
okay.
12th, and then the 15th is game 2, and then I think the 18th is game 3. I don't know. I really hope they don't put 2 days between games. Right now in basketball, the Spurs and Heat are tied up at 1 game apiece.
Yeah.
I don't care
The
about basketball.
Heat. I don't either. I do know the Heat won pretty by a
They
fair
barely
margin.
lost in game 1, and then they just came back and demolished the Spurs in game 2. I think it was like 104 to 84 or something like that.
Right.
It was a pretty big
So
margin.
yeah, I don't care that much about basketball, but it does look like it's the Heat's time to win, maybe. I don't know.
They won
Um,
last year. Fuck them.
well, it only makes sense.
Yeah, maybe. Uh, Also, another big tech thing that went on today was the annual WWDC from Apple, which I don't even know what that stands for, to be honest.
Let's Google it.
Yeah, you can go ahead and Google it, but they had a couple announcements. iOS 7, the for Apple. Yeah, I don't know shit about Apple, so I guess that's the operating system, but is that for the iPhone only and like all iDevices, I guess?
Yeah, iPhone, iPad,
So iOS 7,
iPod.
cleaner design. iTunes Radio, which a lot of people are already speculating, this is going to compete with Pandora and Spotify, and
And
will be commercial free.
Google.
Oh yes, and Google Play, and Last FM, still using that. They updated the MacBook Air, faster chips, and a much improved battery life. 9 hours of battery life on the 11-inch model, and 12 hours on the 13-inch model. The 11-inch model will be $1,000, and the 13-inch will be 1,100. I still think that MacBook Air is a stupid laptop. I don't see why you're marketing a laptop for being thin. It doesn't make sense to me.
Have you
Laptops
actually
are
ever seen anybody with a MacBook Air, like
no,
in
not I
person?
like
Me
I've never
neither.
seen a laptop and been like, oh, that's a MacBook Air. Like it might have been a MacBook
Right.
Air, but I didn't recognize it as a MacBook Air. Like when the iPod Nanos first came out, I remember when iPod Nanos first came out was probably 2004. No, it was 2005. I want to say. And what ended up happening was I was just like, oh man, let me see that. And it was a complete stranger who let me handle her Nano, and that thing was awesome, and you immediately recognized it.
Yeah, I actually like the that's about the only Apple product I liked is the Nano.
The Nano, really?
Yeah. Nothing else has really impressed me. Oh, well, I will say the iPhone works a little bit better than any Android phone I've used, but I still don't have one. I still prefer Android
Never,
over.
never had an iPhone. I had Droid 1 and I have the Droid 4 with the full keyboard and entire row dedicated to numbers. I actually just got a text message. That's what that thing was. told Dave that if he ever has high-speed internet to go ahead and try and hop on with us, and he said, I'll do my best. So Dave will never be on a podcast again.
No, not until he moves out or something. So
Yeah. We'll set up base at your house, and we can just, we won't have to do this. We can just record it with the camera.
hey, you saw the speed test.
Saw the speed test, but we're still skeptical as to whether or not that was true. That being said, this is empty. I need to go get another one. You want to talk about something that's
Yeah,
fun?
go ahead.
Yeah. Have fun.
Yeah, so my internet went out on like Friday, I guess, and I wasn't even here. So come to find out, long story short, after calling and all that crap, that it was like a blown splitter or something, just right outside the road. So they fixed that today, and they also said that they like doubled my speed. So now I have like a 50 down, 50 meg down, 10 meg up. Speed test checked out, and I'm happy with it. I'm gonna download some shit in a little bit, and
Download? What do you mean download? That's illegal. Savor a hockey tradition.
free
Hockey's
stuff.
unwritten rule. Shut up. Hockey's unwritten rule of protecting the goalie extends beyond gameplay, with teams respectfully allowing their netminder to be the first on the ice at the morning skate to conserve energy for game time.
That's not really a fact as much. Well, okay, maybe it is a fact, but it just makes
It's
sense.
trivia. That's more trivia than fact. Where's my
Yeah.
mug? Okay. So, I talked to you about this right before we started recording. Brought back a little bit of nostalgia this past weekend with some friends. I played with some Pokemon cards recently. They are all right here in this box.
I'm not gonna laugh, so carry on.
You cannot laugh all you want. I'll tell you right now, growing up, I just collected. I didn't actually play. We actually sat down, spent about an hour and a half working each other's decks. That's what she said.
Getting
And we
that legendary
ended up.
Charizard card.
Nobody had a Charizard, like an original Charizard. We had they had the bullshit like Dark Charizard and like Blaine's Charizard or shit like that, whatever. But it was a lot of fun. So if you still have your cards and your friends still have their cards, I would highly recommend this summer maybe pick it up. What we did was we spent the first half of the day, we just worked some decks, and then we grilled some food. We had a nice little grill, and then we played 2 games, and we had some brews. It was a good time.
Nothing like some nostalgia.
No, not at all. They're not really worth anything though. We were looking
No.
into it. We were thinking like, wow, because a lot of my rares and the holographs are in like protective cases and shit. They're not, unless you have like a first edition Venusaur, Charizard, or Blastoise. Your cards ain't worth shit. So just
Even
play
then,
with
it's
them.
like what, just a couple of dollars.
Apparently, a first edition holographic Charizard is worth like a couple grand.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I had a Charizard. I actually had all of them. I collected
Never had a
them
full
all.
set.
Well, I
Oh,
collected
wow.
all the original 150. What? 2?
151.
51.
151. Mewtwo was
Yes.
150. Mew was 151.
Yes, I had all of the original 151, and then I got old or something.
So I'll tell you right now, I ain't got much left. I think I hit on everything I want to hit on. So unless you got stuff, then we can just hit on up to recommendations. Unless there was
Uh,
that thing you wanted to talk to me about that I told you not to tell me before the podcast.
I think that we already
Really good
talked
at
about
remembering
that.
things. Well, then here we go. Might as well hit up. I mean, this wasn't a very long podcast, but what's it matter? Who wants to
We're
hear
being
us talk forever?
consistent.
We're being
Right.
consistent, that's right. And we'll be coming
That's the
to you
main
next
thing.
Monday as well. Yes.
Yep.
So, recommendations time. I'll go first because I'm sure you don't have anything yet. Do you?
Go ahead.
Anywho, I'm going to recommend music this week. This is a band. This is their first full-length album. It's called 21 Pilots. Their debut album is called Vessel. They had their two grandfathers pose for their album cover. I've seen them live back in August. They opened for a band, Walk the Moon, that I liked. 21 Pilots is signed on Fueled by Ramen Records. It is composed of two guys named Tyler and Joseph. Tyler sings, Joseph plays drums. Tyler sings and like does the synth work and the piano stuff. Um, their style is something that I never heard of before. Not I've never heard of, but something I never heard before. It's basically it gets very melodic, and then it has this rap breakdown, and then it goes right back to the melodies. And sometimes it works, starts as rap, turns to melodies, and then goes back to rap. On paper, it shouldn't work, but it does with this band. And you're gonna make fun of me again, I think, Justin. But on this arm, I had the Half-Life. On this arm, I got the band's logo, actually. So, that's how much I enjoy them. I've had the opportunity to see them live several times since then. However, due to rescheduling by their booking manager, I missed out on several of their shows that I should have gone to. So I've only seen them once. I cannot wait to see them again, though, because they were a lot of fun when I originally saw them. They had a really awesome cover of Shout. You make me wanna shout. Very good. Definitely cool. Check them out. They just finished up a tour in London. They'll be coming back. But 21 Pilots, Vessel. It's 12 tracks, available on iTunes, probably available in local stores. Check it out. You will not be disappointed. Justin.
Sweet. I'm going to take it back a couple years, and something I've been watching quite a bit is Star Trek, the original series. Never seen any of them before in my life, and I was reading, and a lot of people recommended to like watch them how they came out. So I was like, okay. Started from the beginning, 1966, I think. I think the original series ran from 66 to 69, and it is terrible, but in a good way. Like I actually enjoy it. I haven't been watching it a lot. I'm not really far into it, like maybe like 6 or 7 episodes, but I don't really watch that much TV, so. For me, it's kind of far. It's like I'm 2 weeks into it, and I've watched about that much. So I would recommend it. I mean, don't expect much. It's cheesy, but it's pretty good. I actually really enjoy it. So I think I'm gonna stick with the series as long as I can and see, where it goes.
Awesome. So there are your recommendations for the week. Isn't that available on Netflix currently?
It is on Netflix.
Awesome. All right. So you got the original Star Trek series. Vessel by the band 21 Pilots. That'll about wrap it up for episode 8 of the 909 podcast. First time we've done this 2 weeks in a row, I think. Maybe.
Yeah.
But we will definitely be seeing you next week, hopefully with a little more gusto in the show. But for right now, this is what you get. Hope you enjoyed it. Oh, real quick, no updates on the new Coke Studios. But maybe a little surprise next week with it. We're not really sure.
Cool.
So stay tuned. Thank you for watching. I'm Jason.
This is Justin.
Thanks for watching. Have a great week.
Peace.